Welcome back to the Midseason Madness qualifiers. The LA Valiant have just mirrored the scoreline they had against the Charge when they faced off in week number 3. 3-1. We was joking about it in the break. It was 4 maps. It kind of felt like 3 because we had a lot of full holds in that series, particularly maps number 2 and 3. If you're just coming back as well for the first time, Marvel got player of the match. Absolutely fantastic performance on this Doomfist once again from them. We're taking a look at some highlights from Oasis, and this was definitely where you felt that dominance in the series early on from him.
And credit to No Hill for having an eye out to say, like, all right, well, Boston isn't using this guy. He's on the free market. He's available in the APAC region. Pick him up. My only question now is that, you know, what happens when his 30-day contract runs out? Because he's only here for 30 days. He's only here for a month. And he's so good for this team that they got to keep him for longer. So, you know, what happens when the 30 days are up? Do they just crowdfund him again?
Imagine if the 30 days expires and Valiant, oh my god, did you just see that? The flick there catches Dia right at the cusp of it. Oh, he just shoots the ground and Dia gets ragdolled up into the sky. Thank you so much, observers and production, for that one.
It's like Marvel's like a subscription, isn't it? It's like a premium subscription to winning. So it's like, you know, how long do you want to keep your premium subscription going for? It's like, well, you know, we're still winning, so, you know, I might as well just resub for another 30 days, know what I'm saying? So
what if
it is for the Valiant so far.
What if it's the free trial, right? What if it's the 30 days free and No Hill?
Marvel's definitely not there for free. I get
No.
They wish they got it for free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like the free trial, right? Where like the second you sign up for it, the No Hill's just like, okay, I'm gonna cancel the subscription right away, even before the full duration has gone, and then he's like panicking, going, oh no, I didn't mean to cancel it. Jesus, I gotta resubscribe somehow.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Hack is already there for free, so you can't have too many people there for free trade. Just putting that out there. So, yeah, Marvel, no, he's got his 30 days locked up. And at this rate, they're gonna need to. They better start outsourcing now. They better put up that what is it, GoFundMe or whatever up to be like, yo guys, you know, it's a little early, but we need to start getting some dollars in to keep Marvel around because we're winning, we're looking good. Fun fact: Valiant are now equal in points and score line for the season with the Chengdu Hunters, 3-5 both the teams, with 3 points each. So there is a race happening. There is a really serious race happening where both of these, in fact, everyone's on 3-5. Fusion's also on 3-5, but they got 2 more points.
I told you.
Because of the fact that they went to the finals to kick-off Clash. And I did work this out mathematically.
Yeah.
Charge, the reason why they're not mathematically out is because if they go 4 wins in a row now from here on outwards, which doesn't sound really possible, but we'll hypothesize it, and Fusion goes 0-6, then technically Charge catch up by 4 points to match the 5 of the Fusion. That would be the only way Charge should catch up. So it's not looking good. But mathematically, it's possible.
You don't have to be faster than the pack of lions, Avril. You just have to be faster than the slowest person. And
the problem is that Charge are the slowest right now. That's the problem.
Hopefully they can get some cardio in on the way, and maybe they can up the speed a bit. 2
teams that are very far ahead, though, are the ones at the bottom here.
Yes, Shanghai Dragons and the Spark. They are our next series. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to bring you our final series of the Eastern region. just a teeny tiny break there as we got ready for our final series of the day. It is, of course, the Dragons going up against the Spark, and these are two teams on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to our leaderboard, but they're not in first place because, lo and behold, it's the Seoul Dynasty still pulling out just a fraction further in front of them, Avril.
I mean, it's a lot of points, though. I mean, both teams are very likely to make the mid-season tournament at this stage.
Yes.
Shanghai definitely copped a pretty rough loss yesterday, but now that they're past Seoul, I mean, it's acceptable. You lost to Seoul. It's understandable. That being said, I won't give the Dragons too many benefits of doubt here because there are a couple of areas that did concern me. One of them was the fact that Lip didn't look super comfortable on the Sojin. At various points, opted to go back to the Ashe. Not too dissimilar to what we've seen from EasyHan, but I feel like the best players are finding it comfortable on the Sojin, are getting the value of the Sojin, like Fitz, like Stalker, like Leave, like Shy. Lip's now going to have to play against Shy. So take a look at the other side as well in terms of Hangzhou Spark. Shy was dominant in his game versus the Guangzhou Charge, and that's a huge part for the Hangzhou Spark to rely on. And beyond that as well, Alpha's Echo, especially on the good Echo maps like the Ilios that came out, and we are still in double push here for the APAC region, so Alpha has plenty more opportunities to play that Echo. All of these things are really difficult to get past because the DPS line of the Spark had already been looking damn good, still looks damn good in the Midseason Madness, and on top of that, Bernard's flexing his hero pool to also include heroes like Ball, a traditionally main tank hero for an off-tank player like Bernard.
Like you said, it's the best performing tanks at the moment are the ones who kind of like are expanding that pool and are able to extend the range, because that was always going to be the big like contending issue migrating from Overwatch 1 to 2 was like how good could the tanks change roles, or oh my god, I don't know what's going on there, but Lip's camera was just zooming in on his face. What's going on with Lip's camera? Sorry, that's broken me a little bit.
He's trying to press his lips on the camera.
Ah, yeah, give everyone a nice little smooch. Thank them for turning up and watching the Eastern region and being a Dragons fan. Oasis is our first map. We're not really changing up anything. The biggest deviation we kind of have here, Avril, is that we're going to Circuit Royale instead of Watchpoint Gibraltar. And of course, our control map at the end differs.
That actually might help out Lip a little bit there as well, because it'll allow him to play the Widowmaker, which Shy didn't look too good on yesterday. So if there's anything there, I think the Dragons will be leaning on that. And this is kind of one of the matches where I'm feeling like it should be close, because Spark looked good yesterday and Dragons did not. And the things that look good for the Spark are the same areas that I feel like are lackluster for the Dragons. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Lip and Flitter duo was not that great yesterday. They need to be far more impactful today. And we are going to start things out once again on Oasis. It's Gardens again, Tread. We've been here before. Look, we'll be starting out on the Sojin, Shy on the Ashe.
Void gets that position, swap the shot, stops the angle from being checked. And now they put Alpha E onto the point as well. No one's really got the definitive positional advantage. If you had to give it to someone, I'd probably give it over to the Dragons, though, as they seem much more established. Spark finding their way in. You've got a nice roll through coming in from Bernard, seeing what they can do. They're just going to put posturing around the point as Bernard rolls back in. Marvel can just keep him at arm's length with that boxer's poise. Irony cannot step forward. They got both angles checked right now. It's really hard for anyone to make any inroads to the point. No, they've not been able to get away with that cap just yet because of the contestation. Finally, does go over to the Dragons.
Yeah, that's Bernard very low HP for a long time as well. Shy, brilliant headshot into Flatter. Bring the numbers back over towards their side once Bernard comes back in. You did see that Shanghai Dragons had like 99% of the camp for the longest time. They'll finally get it towards the end with both the DPS down and Flatter coming back online. Shy is just controlling the battlefield. This will be Spark. Get the cap.
What a dominant first fight coming in there from Shy. Builds up a huge amount of percentage on the Ashe and basically leads his team to getting that flip so early on into the map against the Dragons. 17% was only what was accrued, and Alfie's checking Fletter's routes of ingress already.
And it was 3 final blows for Shy as well, burning up towards the Bob will be really important for this now defense. So see what the rest of the Shanghai Dragons can do. Void, especially on this dude, needs to get into the face of players as soon as possible. Nano from Bebe saves Iziaki, who would have died to the pulse.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, looked away. I was like, oh, I just got hit by the pulse bomb, and then it goes off camera, and he's still alive. I'm like, sourcing for the answer. What is it? And it's Bebe's nano boost. Railgun charge put in place for Lip, has the right click ready to go, and uses it immediately on Alpha Yi to shut down the Tracer. but they've not got themselves onto the point until Void jumps into the high ground. Amp Matrix is in a very safe position to be able to use there. Meteor Strike slams down on Irony. Oh, and Shy has nowhere to escape to either. The Dragons are going to be clapping back and retaking this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the back of Void as well. How many kills is that? 3 to 4 so far. Lip tried to overclock, was instantly fragged by Irony, so thankfully the rest of the Shanghai Dragons, led by the Doomfist tank player of Void, was able to get it across the line, and without any other ultimates expended either beyond just the overclock and also the death, Meteor Strike, I was going to say. I was thinking Reaper for some reason, don't know why my brain went in that direction, but Lip will come through now with the instant headshot on Shy, so a fresh Ash pick for Lip, instantly getting dividends.
Just be able to hold the angle, try and look out for a couple more of those. They know that Alfie snuck in somewhere, and of course Bernard's probably going to do the same on the ball. So have to keep the head on the swivel for the time being. Throws that dynamite
slow.
in.
Spark need to find some ingress soon.
Just letting map percentage accrue right now. Minefield deployed. Where was it deployed? Up on the high ground. Lip gets slapped down by Alfie. Dynamite over the top. Izayaki under pressure will be using that Transcendence to emerge onto the point and escort his team to safety almost. They had to play around the angles, but it wasn't safe for too long as Alfie and Irony find the backline of the Dragons. They go for cleanup here, and there's a flip coming in for the Sparks. This is much more back and forth than what we saw earlier today.
And it's such a better performance from Alfie on the Tracer compared to yesterday, but also better than Fleta, who is still looking, a little bit rough, a little bit soft in terms of the performance. Played it low to the Reaper from the kickoff clash, and coming into Midseason Madness just has been falling flat on performances. Lip had that initial frag on the Shy, but since then it's been pretty quiet. He hasn't really been able to do too much. Having some Izayaki damage certainly helps, and that'll be the kill.
They're just like laughing at Lip right now. Wait, you have to use your Zenyatta to get frags? Chuckling at each other as that happens right now. Fleta drops down from the heavens. Keeps the pressure on to Alpha Yi. Playing around the pillars, has access to the health. Lip's got a good angle here to try and control these entrances. Throws the dynamite over the top for Izayaki again. Moves around, finds Shy. We're in overtime right now for the Spark. And with Void going down, it does not look like Dragons are going to be able to retake this one. Lip throws the Bob out before getting taken out. There's no Immortality Field on the side of Spark. False Bomb comes in, and Super Rich has nothing to save themselves with that one. Stick comes on to Izayaki, but they're trading it back as going to find another one taken out. Fleta's being mowed down. Orb of Discord being a huge difference maker there as Alfie can just spray around. Minefield, Meteor Strike drops down. Doesn't get the ground fast enough to keep the overtime going. And it's 100% to 75. Spark take the first round.
Dude, Alpha Yi is sick today. I mean, I was, again, criticizing the Tracer yesterday, and I think previously in the kickoff clash as well. I was like, well, Alpha Yi, he's been dominant on the Genji, on the Echo. Yeah, I'm sure there's another pick out there that I'm forgetting at the moment, and we're looking towards the Tracer. It's like, yeah, it's been a good Tracer, but wasn't as dominant. I've got to change my mind now. That was a great Tracer performance. Yeah. Really pulled the team together, many final flows. And unfortunately, one of the key, I think, difference makers on that final fight in the second to last fight was that Void dies at 98%, so couldn't Meteor Strike away to save himself and continue the fight. Comes back in, is the only one there, ends up having to use the Meteor Strike to live, and as we saw, ends up hopping off the point because of it, and they lose the capture point, and the map is gone. But I think that round was already over. Hangzhou Sparkhead definitely taking the lead. Both teams now starting out on the show, which means health pack control, this mega pack and the jump pad control on that high ground, super important. Will be the side of the Shanghai Dragons taking it first, especially with the kill into Alpha Yi.
Yeah, Alpha Yi was there for the contest, but a little bit outnumbered. Void gets boxed in the corner. Orb of Discord and a couple of shots from Shy should be the triggering factor there. This first cap going over to the Dragons. They start to get themselves set up and not really using the high ground just yet. One shot into Shy. Coach Gun puts Lip up there, and that's probably where he'll want to be for safety.
So Lip getting a decent lead over Shy now as far as Bob goes can be pretty important for this point. Just a stall. Putting pressure onto any members. A big open sightlines as well, so Bob can really shoot anybody. Offer you down to Izayaki again. So did a brilliant job of getting damage and surviving on Guardian, but so far it's just gone 0 for 2 as far as KD on this particular round. Struggling.
We're just constantly being challenged by those orbs as well. Every time we cut over to them, there's a Discord on there. Harmony can only do so much for them. As I said, great sightlines to use not only for Bob, but for themselves. They're able to keep an eye on the entrances and turn around to help the support line should someone go to attack them over there by the Mega. Bernard waiting for his team to go in, rolls up to the high ground, goes for Izayaki, tries and block him in the corner. Oh, he gets the support he needs, but Lip's there for the support, as we call it. Bernard gets taken off the map. And there's a second kill coming in as Fleta will find Shy. Pulse Bomb online for them as Alpha Yi's taken down. This is some dominance from the Shanghai Dragons. 60% and climbing, and the ults are starting to come online. He's got a Pulse Bomb, Transcendence, and Meteor Strike on the go. Well,
pretty good trade coming through. So when Bernard goes for the dive into Izayaki, they'll manage to push him away, take him down. Lip's there for the damage. Fleta receives a nano and gets the kill to Alpha Yi as well towards the back end. So brilliant stuff to get Fleta back into the game. So further slowdown onto Alpha Yi's impact so far on Civic Center. Has a Pulse Bomb available. Out goes the bomb.
Yeah, I don't know how far that went. Did I actually manage to get onto the point? Oh, it did. Right at the back there. I thought it got clipped on the wall as he put it out. Alpha Yi finds Void. Super Rich taking out Lip. Oh my god, it's looking very pink right now, and this is what Spark needs. 99% is about to be accrued, so it's an overtime push to try and get this flip. And now they're going to have to hold it for perfection if they want to deny round number 3.
Yeah, great stuff there. I mean, you want to be targeting Void here. You can go for the backline, but it has been difficult, as we saw from Bernard's POV. But every time that Void goes for a power block, it's a free Pulse Bomb stick if you can find it, which shouldn't be too difficult. Speaking of finding things, Irony, straight away onto the Lip. That'll just be an instant reset for the Shanghai Dragons. In terms of trying to catch up on percentage points and get more ultimates online, very important for the Hangzhou Spark to just get a freebie like that. 1 kill, 10 seconds of waiting time, free percentage points, you love it.
Looking towards backline of Spark to try and survive this one as well. We got the Transcendence, which is a good panic button. Lots of instant kill potential, though. I feel like on the side of the Dragons, they might not be able to mitigate it all.
Should be Lip Bob here.
Yeah.
Oh, or not?
Well, no, it would not be a Lip Bob, unfortunately, because Alpha Yi's woken himself back up again, getting himself to the performance we saw from round number 1. Void under pressure again. You know that was going to be a focus for them. Has the Meteor Strike for some semblance of safety. Will be forced away, getting some healing from his team to try and stay into this fight, but there's no real pressure on the Spark losing this until Super Rich goes down, does get the Out Matrix out before falling, as Irony will also use that Transcendence. They had an overlap, but Izayaki goes down to Bernard. Oh, they're not going to be able to keep this one up now. They have to wait for Izayaki to be able to join them with that ultimate. Lip will finally be in a position to get the Bob online to keep the challenge, but Shy is about to match them as well. So you're going to have Bobs doing the fighting for them if they need to. Pulse Bomb thrown up by Alpha. He doesn't catch Bebe. So we'll now get them onto the point. Bernard has to roll away. They're so low. They're about to lose their tank. Oh, no. This could be disastrous, as Dragons might be able to get the flip here. They can keep the pressure up, but they've lost Bebe as well. Transcendence comes in from Izayaki to life support the team back into this one. Get rid of the Immortality field. Yeah, well, no, they're going to trade back. Both Zenyasas are down now as well. Where is Fleta? Pulse Bomb online for them. Void gets taken out again. 99% overtime. It's the Spark that is still in control. They can take out Fleta. This should seal the deal. Dynamite on the floor. Doesn't have a chance to take the shot, but Bernard will get the roll through to do it. And it was so dire for the Spark, but they're able to clap back and close back the map. Spark takes an early lead in the series.
Yeah, and the struggles for the Shanghai Dragons unfortunately do not end. A brilliant map played by the Hangzhou Spark here. A little bit more of a comeback towards Fleta getting frags. Void looking good on that initial map, that initial Gardens. Have to credit Izayaki for being one of the top fraggers across both teams. I mean, both Irony and Izayaki, the Zenyatta players, are certainly getting the numbers in there, but Alpha Yi is the talk of this opening map so far. Definitely, I think, the best player across both teams. Started out slow on the city center, but warmed up towards the end there. Quite a large number of frags. Failed to get the Pulse Bomb to David, but still cleaned him up regardless in a 1 versus 1 towards the end, making sure the supports are out of there. Izayaki not being able to, for some reason, to use that trance the second to last fight, I think cost Dragons quite a decent amount, and then ends up using trance with Bebe going down already. 4-man trance, it's not enough. Izayaki and the rest of the Shanghai Dragons failed to get the rest of the damage in there. And Lip, I don't know what's going on with Lip, man, but it's not looking like the same Lip from 2021.
Let's see if we can hop in a time machine and bring 2021 Lip back into the present. Waiting for this next break. When we come back, we are heading over to Midtown.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Spark with the ignition, they lead the series 1-0 against the Dragons, who now need to come back as we head into Midtown. We've already identified a couple of issues with the Dragons. They're not able to really keep up with the play of the Spark right now. Been a couple of shining lights from that team, though. I think you highlighted Izayaki towards the end of that series being a star player for the Dragons still, but as you mentioned as well at the end, Alfie just seems to be dominating the server right now, and I'm so enthusiastic about that based on where they've come from and what they're starting to do this season with the Spark. They're in their rookie season right now, and yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on moving forward.
There's certainly plenty of rookies on this squad, right? But then you look on the other side, it's all veterans. On a single rookie. Not saying that they need one, but a squad of veterans who have, you know, I would say is definitely the reigning champion, the best team of Overwatch 1. Seemingly still trying to find their way through Overwatch 2, especially in this stage as well. They seem to have mostly gotten there in the kickoff clash, where towards the end, okay, they did lose to the Seoul Dynasty, but Seoul Dynasty currently look like the best team in this region, and one of, if not the best teams in the world as well. So that I can't fault them for. But going 0-3 versus Seoul doesn't look pretty when you took them to map 5 twice in a row previously. Losing one map to Spark so far is definitely not cause for alarm, but
no,
you need to see Dragons pick up something here. You know, a map backwards, maybe map 3 could be theirs as well. A 1-1 scoreline, a 2-1 scoreline somewhere. Certainly you wouldn't want to see another 3-0 with Dragons not picking up anything.
Yeah, it's just going to be a morale killer, isn't it? You know, especially in the lead-up. You're one of these teams who want to be making it to Midseason Madness, but not only doing that, but performing in the upper echelons because of that legacy you accrue for yourself towards the end of Overwatch 1. The team needs to pull together. Lip, toying with the idea of the Sojourn, but I don't know if they're going to commit to it when they did go back to the spawn room. I think it's been long enough. I think he's sticking out on the Sojourn, but you can see the hesitation there about whether they want to go for the Ash or not still.
Well, the thing is, they see that Alfie is playing the Echo here, so I think Lip is probably going to be in a position where he feels like he wants to be on more of a hard hit scan. That being said, most of the other top hit scans in the league so far have just... They would definitely stay on the Sojourn, even versus the Echo here, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. I did also speak about the Alfie Echo before we got into this matchup today, and kind of had some words to say about it being fantastic, and it would show straight away why that's the case. Instant
it's been
kill
demonstrated against Void.
4.
Demonstrated against Void, find the first kill. Shy deals with the Immortality Field, gets the headshot onto Izayaki. Spark gonna deflect this first offensive quite easily, it looks like.
Still waiting for Dragons to find that opening right, and this is where I have to get back towards the Lip conversation. The Sojourn play is important for that. You have Shy on 41, Lip on 20%. Shy already got a frag, starting things out onto, I can't remember, was one of the two supports here. Alpha E as well onto Void, as has been mentioned. And for many teams on a map like Midtown or any hybrid or even Escort, a Sojourn player would be opening the checkbook as far as the rails go. So once we see that Lip connection to the rail, things will be good.
They've lost Izayaki again. Irony just finds the headshot, gets the kill, denies the Zenyatta. Now Void left out to dry, does fire the accretion in. It's not enough to save them. Does commit the railgun shot there, but not really needed. Another deflection. Oh, there you go. Lip found the opener.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And the time is actually reasonable as well. I was going to say, you know, Void even dies with the Immortality Field. Maybe the lamp came down late. But you have to see Dragons kind of push out of there. We see from the overview, Void is only returning to the team. So despite killing Irony, I thought Void was maybe closer. They could have pushed up if Void was there. But because it's not, this is going to be struggling. Alfie's in the backline here as well. So keep an eye on the kill feed for Alfie popping up.
They're on the point for the time being. They don't really want to give him the 33% or the checkpoint.
There it is.
Izayaki keeps dying first in all of these fights. I don't think he's lived to any of these skirmishes, Avril. They've given over the 33%, but now they're trapped in a tiny Overwatch room looking for the healing. Super Rich, thankfully, can give the burst healing to keep... Vega can actually give the burst healing to keep him up. Lip gets the trigger onto Irony, answers back, but Alfie and Shy have found 2 to his 1. Alfie's Echo still relatively unchallenged. They boxed Void in. He plays around the mini health pack, but there's so much damage ricocheting off the walls. There's nowhere for you to escape.
Yeah.
And Void goes down with 1 minute 10 remaining. This offense from the Dragons has not been powerful. They've just been running into a brick wall.
Yeah. And you see 2 kills come from a Lip, right? 2 railgun kills onto Irony. That's the only 2 kills that Shanghai Dragons have. They've only got 2 final blows, both on Lip, both on Irony. The rest of Spark are deathless. 0 deaths. Alpha Yi leading the way on final blows, and we saw Alpha Yi on their backline. That's why Izyaku went down, because Alpha Yi was lurking on the backline, looking for a support to snipe on an Echo. I know it's an Echo, but still, got him.
Yeah.
Got the kill.
Oh, Fleta gets
Got
the
him
pulse
again.
out, so finally the trade. You've taken the raid boss down, and it cost Fleta his life. Void keeping an eye on the side angles right now. Flux, in effect, trying to catch him. Manages to catch him right on the edge. Shy gets caught on the ring of the Flux. Couldn't slide out of that one. Now Irony's committing that Transcendence to try and stabilize the team. Buy time for the reinforcements. What a shot from Lip with the overclock to take out Alpha Yi. Deny the big man in the sky the ability to play. And Dragons suddenly are uncontested up in the skybox. They're on the point, they're capturing it. Reinforcements coming in from the Spark, but they're still faltering on the exit point. And I think the Spark actually just going to give this one to them. Point A.
No, they're coming.
Wait, Alpha Yi goes in there, uses the iframes, gets on the Sigma, but immediately gets taken out, loses the duplication. But you're right, it's bought him enough time to go for the contest. Fleta goes down, Shy's found the shots. Alpha Yi now able to play Overwatch 2 again, but Void takes out Shy. Lots of some resources being put into Void. Izayaki answers back to find it, and finally the Dragons will get the point A capture and get the payload in motion.
Yeah, it seemed like a very optimistic retake there from the Hangzhou Spike, but I respect the attempt because you do have this duplicate on towards the Sigma. Maybe if Alpha Yi could have survived a little bit longer, kept that duplicate form up off the back of some Shy damage, you'd have seen a much better contest. However, have to credit the fact that Void takes down an overclocking Shy using his Flux as well. Lip gets to snipe onto Alpha Yi, and one very important microplay that happened was the fact that Alpha Yi dies to, he's going for the duel versus Fleta. I believe he dies, but doesn't get a chance to go for the duplicate. He kills Fleta, gets stuck with the pulse bomb, can't find a targeted duplicate. He would have avoided the pulse bomb had he used the iframes, but I just don't think he saw anybody.
No, he wasn't able to get himself to that safety point. Bebe's Immortality Field, the only victim so far. Void gets stunned out of the sky. Railgun online for Lip as he migrates back around to the payload to keep that moving. Try and get out the other side of the tunnel and stop this choke point from being used. Alpha Yi comes up over into the sky, provides some reinforcements. Fleta looks up on the Hangzhou, but Shy finds the railgun body shot onto Lip, giving the numbers advantage back over to the Spark. Only 1 minute 15 left on the clock. That time extension not looking very strong right now because of the overtime take on point A.
Yeah, they just don't have any distance, right? Waiting for a Dragon or Overclock or something to come online. Low HP members, Izayaki was going to stay forced to probably trans here.
Transcendence for Transcendence, trading it out. They get the overlap nicely. Shy with the overclock finds Fleta, going to use the slide to get to a better position. He doesn't even need to be there. Alpha Yi can handle the front line more than enough. Cleanup duty's there. They lose Alpha Yi on the backside because Lip was able to get a cheeky railgun shot. 30 seconds remaining. This is probably going to be the last offensive for the Dragons. They got 3 ultimates to play with. They're only running into duplication and possibly the Flux from Bernard.
But we'll come down to also opening damage and pick potential from Alpha Yi and Shy, or maybe Fleta and Lip can do it. They certainly have the Dragon, Strike, and the rest of the ultimates to get it done. Window will also be quite important. Fleta taking some decent damage here. Time running out, as you mentioned. So, need to get themselves on towards that point ASAP. Still not enough damage coming through for a kill just yet.
Dragon Strike on the point. Spark not split by that. They are together still. Fleta back in the corner, gets the healing they need. Lips on life support, 27 HP. Someone help him. Finally gets it. Overclock was used in that instance, but no, there's no rest for Lip. Up into the sky. Skeet shooted out of it by Shy's railgun. As Irony finds the second kill of this fight. Fleta and Izayaki. Oh no. Void is just the only person left on the payload as overtime is about to tick down. The shield cannot protect 360 degrees. And there you have it. Payload stopped. Benchmark set. It's now time for Spark to try and match on their offense.
Even with the GPS ultimates from the Shanghai Dragons between Overclock and Dragon Strike, they couldn't outdamage Shy and Alpha Yi, where both Lip and Fleta went down. Alpha Yi dies, I think 2 Lip as well, in fact, even had his duplicate taken away. Shy ends up living on barely any HP, healed back up, and that ended up being a huge difference maker. The fact that 1 out of the 4 DPSs survives, and it was a Hangzhou Spark DPS, gives Spark the 4 versus 3. 4 turns to, well, 4 gets 3 down to 2, down to 1, which ended up being Void, and as you mentioned, can't do anything there. Point goes away, we're done. So, Hangzhou Spark looking in a great position to get this 2-0, assuming that A goes well for them. You have to remember that Shanghai Dragons basically had to go until overtime to even cap A, which limits their progression on B and eventually on C had they have gone there, but they didn't. But would have taken away a lot of time for the rest of progression across the rest of the map quite significantly. So to get to the end of B, I think is reasonable for the time that they had. How good is the defense going to look? Because I still think, and this seems to be pretty true, backed up by stats as well, the Shy and Alpha E have been wondrously outperforming Lip and Flitter.
Even the eye test would tell you that one as well at this point. But it's good to have the number backing. See what they roll out with here. Fledder going to try their hand with the Echo. Alfie onto the Tracer this time as well. So going to try and play the Ground War instead, but has to be conscious of the aerial that Fletter is going to be putting in. Shy will probably be turning some attention up there once they get some damage and charged up railgun shots to apply that way.
The goal for Alpha E here, and similarly I think I could have spoken the same to Fletter's goal when he was on Tracer for the attack, is to draw attention away, play for the backline, pressure Izayaki and Bebe there, maybe even touch the point to force people to turn around. Alpha E will be on a mission for sure, and if you can do that, force attention off, then Shy can start getting some frags in it, Irony super rich as well, start getting some damage in. Story of the two railguns will be, I think, the story to tell here, because that is the most likely tool to open up fights.
Nice recall there. Alfie gets him on the point still. Turns around to Void. He's pretty isolated now. All the Discord has still been applied. Shield from One Way keeps him up, but while this has been happening, Lip and Fledder have got on the board. That's a 3-for-1 trade in favor of the Dragons. They'll hold that first defense.
And because of a couple of late kills towards the end there, including Irony, Spark won't really be able to use this frag into Fledder. Good trade to at least slow down the Shanghai Dragons to keep them honest, but they won't be in a position to force a 5v4 anytime soon. So Fledder will be back to the team now for sure. Need to check in on the ultimates. Bebe, by the way, just sailing ahead of Super Rich and everybody else in the server. Already has the window available well before anyone else can get an ultimate.
Yeah, you talked about the two railguns. Well, an Amp Matrix definitely is going to help out one of them be significantly stronger than the other. They can apply that. Doesn't need it though.
Railgun.
Lip taking out Alfie. Shy waiting for yours to get laid on the ground, bud. Train can't start until you put that one down. They have to be so muted right now, just playing backwards, giving up all that space and just waiting for the reinforcements to come in. It just plays into the hands of the Dragons. Oh, there's the window.
Oh, never mind, actually, yeah.
I mean, that was unnecessary damage. You didn't even need the window at that point. You've already done enough. Irony, why? I'm not sure why you pop the Transcendence here, unless they can get some cleanup on the back. I'm not a fan of that one. Pulse Bomb from Alfie finds Izayaki, and Void actually ends up going down as well, so not the worst thing in the world. They have got a window to push through here, and Bernard still holding strong, creating the space for the team to be able to push up and claim more of this.
They have a window in the sense of having the amplification matrix, but also a window in the sense that Shanghai Dragons are down members. They could be down again if they're not too careful. Here, there it is. Bebe being taken.
Oh,
Shy with the overclock.
Doesn't let Lip escape. Catches him in the back as he's trying to go. And another one for Shy with the overclock. Spark, they've got this one in the bag. Point A captured, and they're going to have time in the bank to try and match the point B push.
And I was going to say as well, you know, before Lip went for the flanking play, that one of the biggest difference makers in that skirmish when we looked towards the ultimates was the fact that Void got a much earlier flux than Burner. I think he was about 40 to 50% ahead, nearly doubling Burner's ult charge. So when the windows come on down, and this time I am talking about the Amp Matrices, Void can use his flux where Burner can't to counter. So that would have been a huge point of difference. Shanghai go for a very aggressive window, works well for Lip, but Spark off the back of that just push forward knowing that, okay, well, Lip's behind us, we can just run up. Irony did pop the Transcendence. At the time, it looked like they were popping in a losing situation, but made the best of a bad situation, made the best of that situation, get all bad, got frags, evened up the numbers, and then played the numbers with a respawn advantage to cap the point.
Great set of play there from the Spark to be able to get point A. Irony's almost back up to the point where they have that Transcendence online again. They're going to need it if they want to match Izayaki. Lip has the overclock available. Yeah, the whole buffet, but no one's pulling the trigger. Oh my goodness, Lip needed that immortality field so much. There's that Transcendence to mitigate, but Irony's gone down. Not going to be able to match that all-important ultimate. You can see the Spark are in retreat mode. They're trying to keep up and get themselves alive. The payload has been moving this entire time, Avril, very close to the completion point. As the Spark tone it down a little bit and wait for the numbers to regroup. They're going to wait a little bit longer as Fletter has removed Alfie with the focusing beam.
And Alpha Yi was the one pushing the payload there, right? So Flitter goes back to contest, take down the target as well. Lip on towards Shy, further slowed down. Actually, single kills the staggers as Alpha Yi comes back up. Shy goes down, so another 10 seconds they have to wait. Burner has to make sure he keeps the rest of the team alive. Still plenty of time. I mean, 2 minutes remaining with ultimates online and coming online further from the Hangzhou Spark. But when you look at where the Dragons are, they've held onto the other 4 ultimates and have not been forced to use them. It's just been the Trance so far. Dragons still in a great position.
Right, nice catch there. A little bit of terrain to protect them. Flutter moves forward with the duplication. Tries to get his own Flux online. Not really needed for the time being. Yeah, gets it online right at the end there. Might be able to catch some reinforcements coming in. Only going to find one. And
oh, he lost his duplicate.
that's about it.
Just in time.
That's unfortunate. But another reset for the
Shy
Spark.
would have died. Shy was on half HP, so Flitter runs out of duplication time. Shy lives, otherwise Shy would have died. And at that stage, you wait for another player to return. 2 minutes now becomes 1 minute trid as time is starting to look really dreadful. However, the ultimate exchanges go the way of the Hangzhou Spark. They lose a fight, but they win economically. And the payload, while moving backwards, is still in a pretty reasonable position. Disruptor shot goes towards the next map, and with the last minute remaining, we'll hope the overclock comes through a little bit better than that.
50 seconds remaining. What are they paying attention to right now in that tiny room? You can see it's the Sigma in the back. Just keeping them there. Pulse was thrown out there, but not going to find any connection. Bebe dropping the window. There's a tight corridor to play with. They've actually trapped Bernard in the corner right now. The Immortality Field is there. Pops forward. Flux online. Can we take him out? Lip, 3 HP. Finds an Immortality Field to stay up and then turns it around onto the Shy. No one touched!
Oh.
Spark was able to get it out!
Hey, it is Shanghai. It is Shanghai. They're known for this. They are known for this.
The classic Shang 9. Oh no.
They looked like they were winning too. They legitimately looked like they were winning the fight.
Yeah.
Shanghai Dragons. Lip kind of started popping off. Had the good old overclock in there, pulling up some shots. Saw Burner throw his rock into the next universe. Both Shy and Burner just kind of sending utility out of Midtown, flying that over towards another city. I won't name which one. There's a few that rival New York, but in any case, man, that's a little bit upsetting for Dragons. I feel like Dragons probably could have won that map, but failed to contest the payload. We saw actually Alpha Yi pushing the payload sneakily the entire way through, got dealt with by Flitter, but kept, feet on it. Alpha Yi just kept kind of retouching the payload, keeping it active at all times. Shanghai Dragons themselves getting active in the team fight, but at the end of the day, the objective is king, and they did not do anything about the final push-in. So surprisingly, and in some cases unsurprisingly, Dread, Shanghai Dragons will not contest the payload, and here we go, 2-0.
Well, the dominant scoreline so far for the Spark. Only one more map required to close out the series. When we come back from our break, we'll be going to Circuit Royale. Welcome back to the Midseason Madness Qualifiers. The Spark lead the series 2-0 against the Shanghai Dragons after another classic Shang 9. But that wasn't the only problems we've been seeing so far in this series, Avril, but it honestly felt like that was winnable for the Dragons if they paid attention to the objective at the end there.
I mean, a couple different things there for the Dragons, right? Because we talk about, okay, maybe they could have contested the payload. Obviously, that's number one on the priority list. However, consider the fact that they never got the payload further in the first place. I mean, had they capped B, alright, they got back capped, maybe B goes. We saw a C to defend, it's not all 100% over for the Dragons. They struggled so much on their attack that the maximum distance they had was, you know, enough for them to make it competitive and give them a chance to win, but opens them up to things like, okay, well, it's under the underpass there, Spark, just push slightly over, and they're done for. I think mentally as well as Dragons have to kind of check themselves slightly because we're in a situation they've been down so many maps. They lost 3-0 to Seoul Dynasty yesterday, looking like a potential for another 3-0. Now we're going to Circuit Royale where maybe Lip onto the Widowmaker could be that much better. I did tee this one up before we got into map number 1, Trent, which is that Shy didn't look good on the Widowmaker yesterday. Lip traditionally has been good on the Widowmaker. This could be one matchup that Shanghai Dragons finally have over the Spark.
Well, here's the rollout from the Spark. They are going to go ahead and commit to the Widowmaker Hangzhou, so double sniper with Bernard on the Sigma, and of course double flex support backline. I have a feeling we're probably going to see something similar. Do you think Fleta rolls out with the Sojourn here, or do we go like traditional double sniper?
Sojourn Widowmaker, I think, is a viable combo here, so that is probably what it looks like to me. The other combination that you could go for is the Widowmaker Hangzhou, as Hangzhou Spark is currently doing. And even though Jinmu won with the Genji here, probably still wouldn't really recommend that one. That's Chengdu doing Chengdu things inside the Chengdu zone here. In the normal world, we are going to be playing double snipers, seeing how that goes. So the opportunity for Fleta to do something here will be very interesting. We haven't really seen him on the Sojourn before. As the Shanghai law would dictate, they had this internal Sojourn 1v1 tournament. And funnily enough, Fleta actually won that Sojourn 1v1 tournament, even against Lips, so maybe there is a good case for Fleta to be playing the Sojourn.
I love that. There can only be one champion. We have to decide internally over who is going to lead our Sojourn duties. And so I will be taken on by Fleta. Moment, they've just got around that first turning, well, the first real turning of the match, you could say.
Slowed by Spark.
Yeah.
They've already given up the first corner, right? You see the first corner gone. Bit of Widow shots being exchanged here, and Spark have to kind of put their foot down somewhere. It's going to have to be at the second corner. And inside that, I don't even know what they sell that shot, but the shot as well. That has to be a point of contention.
They're just giving up more and more space, though. Like, they're just stepping back constantly, and that's probably why they were worried about Lip getting away with a cheeky headshot. And now without the Widow threat, that just opens it up for Lip to be able to play it even more aggressively and take even more aggressive sightlines. As Void deals with Alfie, Void again, there's Irony, there's not much left there. The gatekeeper that is Shy's Widow keeps Lip in check, and if Shy goes down, it's all over. Alfie now jumps onto the Genji, so it's not the Jinmu. So.
No, it's not, and well, there's a couple ways you can read into this one. I think the Genji has merit and has value on C, but he's gone Genji too early. This is not where Genji is good on this map, so unless Hangzhou Spark and Alpha have just kind of given up on B, it's like, let's just play our C defense comp a little early here. He's definitely pulled the trigger too soon for this. Speaking of pulling triggers, I mean, look at Lip's ult charge compared to Shy's. Fleta also gets Irony, so Hangzhou continue being behind.
Spark have just permanently been on the back foot here. Payload just being escorted by one person, and it is Lip who's just going to play around that one. Does buy the Spark even more time to regroup. They're not under the massive amount of pressure. Shy's going to be able to answer that back, though. He's only 4% off, so everyone's going to have knowledge on everyone at this point. Flux thrown in there by Void. Going to catch the back line. Oh, this should be big, but there's a nice block there from Bernard to keep the team up. Immortality Field's gone down, window deployed. Shy now gets his time with Infrasight and uses it to great effect to find Fleta. Izayaki answers back onto Super Rich. Flux going to send him up into the sky. Transcend should mitigate all of the threat there, especially with a terrain to block out Void. You're going to use that healing overlap to try and win out the tank fight on the ground. But Irony's there, and Izayaki gets taken out. Alfie sneaks in. And finally, the Genji's finding some value here, Avril, and it's the first time we've really seen the sign of lights. But Fleta with the railgun finds it. Shy then takes the head off of Lip. So Spark have finally been able to stabilize. That's the takeaway from this one so far.
It's the slightly earlier transcendence from Izayaki forced out by Bernard's Flux, and obviously he's going to have to transfer the middle of the Flux, and not just when he lands, simply because otherwise Shy's going to snipe him out of the sky. So we saw that Shy's crosshair was immediately onto Izayaki, and he knew it, so he popped it. Only gets to use his transcendence a lot later, giving the Hangzhou Spark the opportunity to push on forward. Alpha, you got that one frag, like you said, still not really looking towards the Genji doing too much more than that.
Yeah.
And Shy finally coming up with the kill feed as well. Importantly, taking down Lip in the middle of that fight to keep things competitive. So, 2 minutes 50 remaining now. Shanghai Dragons eat a big reset. But as we do reset, only one ultimate available, and that's going to be the overclock.
Keep an eye on Fleta then. Shy did apparently.
And there goes the overclock. And that's important for the Spark because now, when you look at timings, Alpha and Burner have the opportunity to start getting a few more ult percentage points up. It's still tough going for Alpha. You can see that every single time that he wants to basically, you know, peek for a bit of damage, he sees Lip, has to back away, or instantly has to deflect. I mean, there is a world where Alpha Yi can bait Lip into killing himself with a brilliant deflect. We've actually seen Alpha Yi do that a little bit before. There's a bit of a highlight reel of him doing that onto Gibraltar. Here comes that window.
Disruptor shot as well. Bernard's going to play around the fringes of it. Nice dash out there of the Flux, but Bernard still deals with Fleta. Void will try and sneak around the terrain, but there's a good amount of sustain there to keep Spark topped up, and it's only one pick, but it's enough to stagnate the entire push of the Dragons. Nice deflection there. You were talking about it, Avril. Wasn't it quite a headshot, but it was enough to put Lip back in check.
Yeah, Alfie is really good at those. That's one thing that Alfie can try and do. One thing better that Shy can do is use that infra site to get himself a frag.
Oh no.
It's got a little bit deep here. Has a hook shot available to get out though, so here comes that Flux now from Void.
Transcendence used. Immortality field gone as well. Alfie not using the blade just yet, but still getting the kills. Dives into the front line, dives into the face of Bebe, returns back to the fight, and 1 minute remaining, and a very critical ultimate still online for the Spark. That blade can produce incredible value in these final fight territories, surely.
It can and it can't, because the problem is you need to wait for Dragons to kind of push forward first for you to get this blade off. If you try and blade too aggressively, you don't have support. The only real support your team can give you is Shy maybe, you know, providing Overwatch. I'm not just talking about the video game here, and Irony giving a Harmony ult. That's about it, really. You don't have a Nano here. You don't have the survivability. The whole team for Shanghai can turn on, and there's a trance anyway, so Alpha has to time this blade very well. Probably has to wait out Izayaki's trance, if anything, to get the maximum value.
Can't wait too long though. Only 30 seconds remaining for the Dragons. Might have to use it just to win a neutral. Well, it would be a neutral at that point, but you know what I mean. Just to be able to win out the fight aggressively. Void stunned. Alfie very low. Needs some healing. Where's it coming from to keep him in the fight? There's that Transcendence. Alfie, now's your time. If no one goes down here, this blade comes out, could be the difference maker. Up into the sky, drops down below, sneaks onto the back line, goes immediately for Void. While this is happening, Irony and Shy have been picking up frags on the back line. He didn't need the superstar blade, he just needed the attention. And the rest of his team will deliver. The Spark shut down the push of the Dragons.
That was such incredibly good discipline by Alpha Yi as well, not to overstep on the blade. Like you said, he didn't need to go for the superstar blade, just enough of a blade to get a single frag, even take a bit of attention away from the Shanghai Dragons, then play that one super safely. Just back out, don't die. You don't have to go for the rest of the kills on the blade. You're allowed to let the rest of your team kind of handle those frags once you give a +1 over, and then clean up the fight afterwards, jump on top of Lip. He can't handle you after that when the rest of the Dragons are gone. And it seems like after one major reset when Hangzhou Spark, with Dragons actually pushing the payload all the way to the top, nearing the end of B, Hangzhou Spark winning an important fight, Shy killing Lip even one time, and then Spark just maintaining control of that high ground, Shanghai Dragons failing to make any sort of progress upwards. Alpha Yi wasn't super active, he was just chilling, he was poking for a bit of damage, deflecting shots back to Lip, waiting for opportunities to maybe get a bit of damage to the back line, but played it super safely. I got to credit Shy for mostly maintaining that defense, because he went from not really doing anything, to outplaying Lip and sitting on 7 final blows, which is the highest across anybody so far on this map over the course of that half.
Spark able to shut it down with, like I said, more of a team effort. I know we put a lot of focus on the Alpha E Blade, but yeah, credit to him. As you said, the discipline, not having to be the superstar. Let's see what happens with Spark on the offense. They are going to mirror the Sojourn Widowmaker combination. It's basically a completely
Never seen
mirrored
Alpha E
composition.
snipe before. So this is the first time we get how far can he flex? I'm not just talking about the guns here. I'm talking about the hero pool in terms of Alpha E playing something very hit scan. When we talk about hit scan, I think, you know, Widowmaker is the quintessential hit scan. This is one of the unique heroes in Overwatch where, I mean, the point and click skill here, I mean, it's just so different to everything else that Alpha E plays. And he's gone up against Lip as well. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, peeks the corner, gets a body shot sent his way. Doesn't need to contest Lip because Shy will do it for him on the Sojourn with that headshot with the railgun. Alpha E, now without the pressure of having to deal with a dominant Widowmaker, might be able to flex their skills and show us what they've truly got.
Oh, there it is.
By finding Izayaki and their headshot on the back line. So that's a 2-man advantage for the Spark. They're going to have to press it further. And point A, already in the bag for them, much faster than what we saw the Dragons were able to achieve, despite what we thought was quite a passive defense from Spark when they were on theirs.
3 to 4 kills for Alpha E alone.
Yeah.
And he's just running up for a few more. Sees Lip, unfortunately won't get the kill on him. Dragons have to respect him. I mean, this is the world we're living in, where you have to now respect the Alpha E Widowmaker of all of the picks that he could have decided to pick through. The fact that Shy actually snipes down Lip with the railgun instantly gives Hangzhou Spark so much room to work with. As soon as Lip went down, the A defense was done for. They couldn't contest either of the snipers. It was looking pretty tragic. So, Shanghai Dragons can take us to a map 4. They got to get this defense underway the same way Spark did once we got to the end of B.
Body shot again for Lip. Needs to get those headshots in. Where's Shy? What's he going to be doing with that Sojourn? Is he going to be able to answer back again?
Watch the fluxes.
Just playing on the main. 99% to 97. Bernard has a slight lead. Void pulls the trigger first. There's a good cluster of Spark players. Only catches one in the end, though, as he goes up into the skybox. Fires down a meteor from above.
Oh.
Fleder goes on a deep flank, tries the railgun. Alpha E will find it with the spray down, but Fleder is there to equalize. Bernard will be trading back and forth. It's a messy fight so far. Shy gets in the face with the overclock. Lip cannot keep up with that amount of damage. He now gets rid of the immortality field. Void is so vulnerable. Shy on the Sojourn
Dude, they
has
can
been putting up numbers and towards the end here. And Fleder will try and hold the line. Respawns have to come out fast for the Dragons, but Spark are about to walk this one over.
It's over.
With a 3-0 scoreline.
Victory.
Not a single opportunity there, unfortunately. You see the Lucio coming through from Bebe. Fleder was dead. Void trying to come back on the ball. They just couldn't touch. I don't want to even hear about the C9s. We had a legitimate C9 in Midtown, but that was not one.
No,
here
that was
on
not.
Circuit Royale, this is just Dragons being dead.
Dragons
What a
getting
fantastic
decimated.
B defense by Spark to set us up in a situation. I mean, it's similar to Midtown, isn't it? We have a brilliant C defense, or B defense in that case, not even having to play C. And Spark do it back-to-back on 2 separate maps. Shanghai Dragons on their defense, this time around crumble. I still think maybe they could have rescued and won Midtown, but no. The Circuit Royale was just not within reach, sadly, for the Shanghai Dragons. And who knew that Alpha E could also be a Widowmaker player, taking down the Shanghai Dragons, players like Fleder and Lip. And I mean, this is one of those moments where you think about, when you think about the Rookie of the Year race, Alpha Ye's like, well, let me just add a different hero from the other guy's hero pool into my mix to do it. And off the back of that, what do you do? Is that a gap? Is that Alpha Ye's gap to everybody else?
That's the gap
Is he
running
away?
ahead. If you're looking at the sideline, it's like a horse race. You're just watching it, and Alpha E is just pulling ahead in that race right now. 100%. Every new hero, every new string in his bow is another argument to be like, yeah, let's start talking about that Rookie of the Year Alpha E.
Let's start talking about the player of the match here as well. It is, of course, Alpha E, who dominated on basically every single map here. I don't think he had a poor performance across the board anywhere. Tracer, brilliant stuff on Oasis. Echo on Midtown, and then it wouldn't make it even on Circuit Royale. Like, goodness gracious, he's actually played like a different hero every single map and pounded just as hard on every single map as well. The flexibility coming on through, the mechanics, the execution, and then we even saw the discipline to, you know, not have to go for the superstar play, but it's enough to win the team fight and win the map. That's exactly the type of player that you want, who has the capability to go absolutely off and be that dynamite carry play, but then also is never going to be the detriment either, is never going to overstep and be the player that kind of feeds over a kill or does something to the detriment of your team. And maybe in the past, as we saw towards the end of Kickoff Clash, and they didn't have the best performance in the actual tournament, but now that we're into the Midseason Madness, you can just see this Hangzhou Spark roster come through in such a strong way, building from their losses, learning from those situations, and improving even further to now be better than the Shanghai Dragons. And I said yesterday, could the Chengdu Hunters be the second best team in APAC? No. Fundamentally, I think it is the Hangzhou Spark, and even now, I don't even know that they could be second or first, because Hangzhou Spark have yet to play the Seoul Dynasty, but what I can say is, between Seoul and Spark, these are our two best teams.
Confident words there from Avril, and I'm inclined to agree with them. Alfie's been fantastic, so has the rest of the roster. I'm going to have to pull up the details and find out when that clash will be between the Soul and the Spark, because it's chalking up to be the match of the region. And if we then potentially get it as a rematch in the tournament stage itself, because if they're going to vie to the top, they're going to have to face each other eventually. Next week. So there's an incentive for you to wake up a little bit earlier and tune into the Eastern region, because you're going to be able to watch a superstar clash. Anyway, it's been a fantastic day today. Quite a quick one when we look at the scorelines compared to earlier in the week, but it's been a fantastic couple of games all the same. I've been Trid, this has been Avril. Be sure to stick around for later, where you can catch out the North American region.